All right, Pops, another week has come and gone. What is going on in the automotive market? You tell me, good news, bad news, somewhere in between?
Well, if you're a consumer, it's bad news. If you're a dealer, it's great news.
All right, so let's kick it off with this. From Black Book, used car market, the story here is that vehicle prices are appreciating at the wholesale markets. We saw week over week considerable appreciation of cars, and
Yes.
trucks are also, they're still depreciating, trucks and SUVs, but at a much slower rate.
Barely depreciated last week.
The market overall was up nearly a tenth of a point, a little more than a
A
tenth of
little
a
more
point.
than a tenth of a point.
So when we look at our big chart from Black Book, we can see that we obviously kind of bottomed out February, March, and ever since
Yes.
then, car prices on the wholesale market have been appreciating ever since.
Yeah, it looks like February. Yes.
So since February, wholesale car prices coming back up. That means that we anticipate seeing used car prices on the retail side continue to be high, inflated, potentially even going up even higher over the next couple months.
We are officially in the spring selling season. Temperatures are warming up. People are starting to plan vacations. So there's typically this time of year more people in the market for a car.
If there's more people in the market for a car and there's not enough cars to meet demand, supply demand, you know the story there.
I've heard a rumor about supply and demand is the basics of economics.
All right. So then, on the other side of this, the story, on the new car side,
Yes.
we have data that came out from the public car dealer groups
Yes.
talking about their days supply of inventory because it was earnings season, so we got all the day supply data. Let's run through this really quickly, Dad, for the nation's 6th publicly traded car dealers.
And this is the reason why I said it's ugly for the consumers, but the car dealers, well, they're loving it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Asbury Automotive Group. They have a 10-day supply of inventory. A year ago, it was 34. Before that, it was probably closer to 60.
Yes.
AutoNation, 8-day supply of inventory. A year ago, 29. Group 1 Automotive, 9-day supply of inventory. A year ago, 34. We're going to skip over Lithia because they track in-transit vehicles, which
Yes.
is...
Well, that's a bogus number because most of those are pre-sold.
Exactly.
Yes.
Penske Automotive, 9-day supply of inventory, down from 37. And Sonic Automotive, a 15-day supply, down from 43. Now, how has this translated into profits for these dealer groups, Pops? Look at this data.
Yeah.
Front-end gross profit per car sold,
Yes.
broken down by these 6 publicly traded companies.
Yeah, there's not one that's under $4,100.
And the more impressive thing in my eyes is
Yes.
pretty much everyone has doubled, if not more than doubled, the front-end gross. Can you explain
Yes.
front-end, back-end really quickly?
Well, the front end gross is the profit from the cost of the car to the selling price of the car, the agreed upon selling price. The back end profit is the amount of money that's made in the finance department when you go in to do all your paperwork. They arrange for your loan or your lease. They share with you protection plans and packages that are available that they get to sell in the finance department. And the amount of gross profit from the finance department keeps going up and up as well.
The total gross profit for these car dealers, Penske leading the way with over $8,000 being the average gross profit per unit sold.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Group 1 at $7,000. Everyone else over $5,000 per vehicle sold. So you look at what's going on in the used car market, we're seeing continued appreciation of used cars, or I'll say renewed appreciation of used cars, because we
Yes.
did see back in February and March a softening.
Yes.
We're past that.
Yes.
And then when you start to look at, okay, so what about the big new car dealers? They don't have a lot of vehicles. The vehicles they do have, they're marking up to the moon and back.
Yes.
And they're making
Thousands
more
of
money
dollars.
than they ever have before.
Yes. So that's why I say dealers are happy as long as the new car inventory remains scarce, along with a scarce supply of used car inventory. Then the dealership gross profit per unit sold skyrockets. And, you know, the Penske organization, I believe, sold 50-some thousand new cars in the quarter. Do the math, folks. $8,000 times 50,000. That's up to a lot of money. and they've cut staff and they've cut their staffing expense. So these dealer groups are able to retain a higher percentage of their income than they ever have. So they're ecstatic with what's going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you're a customer, if you're somebody out there looking to buy a car, know that you're going to have to work in order to find a car that's not completely, thoroughly 100% overvalued.
Use the dealer reviews back on the website. That can be super helpful. The other thing that I'll mention here, Dad, is trade-in values. Trade-in values. The used car you have right now should appreciate as wholesale prices go up. Cars that you own should continue to appreciate. So the silver lining here is that as it becomes even more challenging to buy a new car with any reasonable price point, at least your used car should also be appreciating.
And it should help to mitigate some of that extra expense when it comes to what you have to pay for that new car.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right,
absolutely.
We'll be back next week with another update.
You promise?
I'm nervous.
I don't know what you're nervous about. We're just sharing the numbers, whatever they are.
We've seen the Black Book data before, Dad.
Yes.
Where week over week we saw 2% appreciation in certain segments of vehicles. I see that kind of around the corner. That's my guess. That's my guess here. May 3rd. That's my guess, but we'll see.
I'm looking forward to next week then.
Thanks, Bob.
Yep. Thank you.